Hello, thank you for joining RasPipKr tutorials. I'm Martin Parker, and in this little Python coding video I'm going to be talking to you about while loops. Previously we talked about for loops, and a while loop works in a similar sort of way. It will keep going until a state has changed. So let's get into it and create a variable. So I'm going to call a equals 10. I'm going to put b equals 0. So now I'm going to create a while loop. So while b is less than, that's what that sign represents, a, and then your colon, and then do something. So we'll print, or prompt, I prefer to print b. So we're going to print out the value of b. Excuse me. But this will just keep going on forever because we're not doing anything. B is less than a because 0 is less than 10. So it will just continue print a 0 all the way down the screen. All the way down. And it'll just keep going and on and on. So what we need to do is we need to increment b. So there's two ways we could do this. We could put b equals b plus 1, or what we can do is b plus equals 1. It's the same thing, it just adds 1 to the value of b. So now when I press enter again, it's actually going to run that, and it will keep going until b is less than a. So what it's doing is it's checking, and then because this is like a question, b is less than a because b is 0 and a is 10, so that would represent a true fact. So that's why it will run this piece of code. So there we go, it's printed out b value. What it does is it prints out b, then it increments, and that's why it starts as a 0, but it doesn't, excuse me, it doesn't give you the value of 10 because it's printing out b before then it's changing to 10. So the next time it's trying to run, b would equal a. So now if we actually call b, you can see that it actually is 10. So that's why it stopped doing that loop. Excuse me. Let's call b 0 again, and let's do this in a different way. So let's declare a value. So we're going to say c is true, and you have to do it as a capital, and that's why the text has gone to orange colour. So c is set in now as a variable, and this is called a boolean. So it's a boolean is either true or false. So like there we're using values. So we could have had b is less than 10 rather than using the variable a. But here we're going to call while c. So because c is representing true, so it's like saying while true, do something. So what we'll do here is we'll print out b again, and we will increment b. Okay, and then what we'll do is to actually check this, otherwise it will continually going. It'll just keep going and going. So what we need to do is we need to change the state of c from being true to false to actually stop this loop and drop out of it. So what we'll do is we'll put if, which I'll come into in another video, if b equals, and you have to put a second equals to actually check if something equals something, because like here, if you use 1 equal, you are setting that it's as an actual variable. like so. We've set B as 0 and C as true. So if B equals, so we'll see if B equals 15, and if that is true, then do something. And this time we're going to say C equals false. And just like we did earlier with the true statement, with a capital, you have to do false with a capital. So if I press enter on here, it's gone through that loop, it's incremented B after printing it, and that's why I started at 0, and it's run all the way up to 15, not including, because B equals 15 after it's printed 14, and that's why it drops out of the loop, because C has then been changed to false. So that's another way that you could do it. There is actually another way, but I will change this. So I'm just going to click on that and then press enter, and it'll bring the text down here for me, so I don't have to write everything out again. And some people put while true, like we did in no, we didn't actually call it there, did we? So some people put while true to run a loop, or what you can do is while 1, because like you have binaries, they use zeros and ones. So 0 is classed as a false, and then 1 would be classed as a true because it is a value. So that is another way that you could actually use the code. And if I press enter here, because I don't have anything to actually, in fact, let's do it. We'll put that back in. So while, if B equals, we'll go with 22 this time. Let's do something. And how we can break out of this loop would be to have the word break, as in to break out of the loop. So if I press enter again, it will then print out B, but I didn't declare B back to being 0, so it's going to use the B starting from 15, which is where it was last set to. So there, it has started from 15 up to 22, but it won't print it because it's added 1 after it. So like I say, you could use that way and have while true or while 1. So that's a quick brief run through on a while loop. I will do if statements in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.